Hi and welcome everyone. This is the Hobo Prepper and I am Friar Tuck. Hold on, I gotta adjust my okay. So anyways, today's video is being recorded a day early, and it's based upon a suggestion that was given to me by a good friend of mine, Dolta. And I think that this was actually a really good video, which is how to survive, or excuse me, how to thrive and not just survive out here on the streets. And so if you guys are wondering what I'm wearing the mask and the gloves that are part of the whole cycling suit. And quite frankly, that keeps me pretty warm. But anyways, so there are 5 different things that you can do to not just survive, but to thrive. Okay, so one is, maybe when you first start out, especially if you've got integrity and you can be counted on to do what it is that needs to be done, you could be at what I like to call a gopher. I do this for somebody. I make $10 in a pack of cigarettes every time I do a run for a guy I know to go to the store, right? So, I get paid enough to, $10, so that I can go buy whatever it is that I want to buy. And then I can, and I get a pack of smokes, which means I don't really have to worry about money for the day for the most part. That it's just things that I do that I hustle up, but I got to walk about 5 miles round trip. I could ride. I don't really want my bike out in the open, especially around here. So I don't do that. But, you could walk to the store for someone, especially disabled people or people that collect Social Security. They always need somebody to run for them. Let's see. Number 2 is if you really want to get smart and kind of go black market. Now, I'm not suggesting that you do this, but I'm telling you that I have seen this done. And what happens is, you go out and you get food like hot dogs, hamburgers. You can make whatever kind of fixings that you want, and you could sell it like $1 a hot dog or $2 a hot dog, or $5 a plate, something like that. And the thing is it doesn't matter how much a hobo raises for his drugs. If you've got a good plate of food, you will not starve. You will be doing fairly well. Now, you're only going to get a small percentage of them that come, but at the other end, they'll always save money, especially if you got good food. A hot meal. That goes a long way out here. Like, if you can bring put somebody like right in front of a freshly cooked meal that comes right off the grill, and we're not talking about fast food. We're talking about something that's decent, even if it is hamburgers and hot dogs. Okay. Number 3 is, what you could also do is day labor. So if you want to do, any type of work and you kind of want to be legitimate, you can do day labor. You could also go around, and if you're a tradesman, you could also offer your skills as a freelancer. And you could do it for trading kind, like, hey, give me a spot to camp, and this much a day, and a store run or something, whatever you want, within reason. And you might even be able to work it out, because if you're in the construction industry, and you're not into the drugs, like the heavy drugs, like the white dope, if you're not into that, then they can trust that you're going to be there and keep an eye on the job site so that other homeless don't come in there, and it provides some sort of security. So that's number 3. Okay, and number 4, I combined a couple of them, and so I'm kind of having to come up with a couple of extra ways to make money. But number 4 is, being able to find things like Puckett. He scavenges. Some people dumpster dive. But if you go, I've been with a dumpster diver, and I will tell you that those people, they do find quality stuff. They got to go through a lot of dumpsters, but they do find quality stuff from time to time, which they can therefore sit there and fix a wire, because they just learned how to fix all this stuff over time so that they can make money. Now, the dumpster diver I went with, he just did it for beer money every night, and so they needed like $20 for 2 cases of Best Ice or some crap. But this is something that you could do that is still legitimate, and it doesn't really take much, and you can still keep your you can still keep your humanity about you. Now, you may want to clean up a little bit more, but you're also getting used to rolling around in the muck too, because you're searching through those bags for all kinds of stuff. And in Oregon, you can do cans, but in a lot of the rest of the country, that's just metal weight. Okay, which leads me to number 5. Number 5 is scrapping. Okay, so that means that you go out to job sites that are done, that have a bunch of metal. You offer to pick it up. Now, you may not be able to carry much, but you can carry. You'll figure out ways to create your own form of. You'll figure out ways to be able to transport what it is that you need to transport. Okay, so I mean, these are 5 different ways in which you can make money and not have to necessarily beg. Now, does it require that you go get a job? No, not any of it is committal. Now, if you want to get off the streets, you're going to need a consistent income. And you can still create a consistent income doing these things. Right now, I'm doing Go for Work because, I got to know somebody, and they saw me and decided that they trusted me and said, here's my debit card, go down here, get this, come back, and then he'll pay me when I got back. And, because I don't use the white dope, I don't do anything like that. It puts me in a situation where I can be more easily trusted with things. And this is going to work out into the way that I get myself up and going. But at another point, I do need to be in an area where I'm going to be a lot more frequent than maybe coming through once a year for a month or so, or for a couple of weeks. I mean, I need to be able to, if I'm going to be hopping from city to city, I need to be able to create my own little route where I should circle around through a city at least once every few weeks, something like that. So, figuring out, how you're going to travel is going to be important, because if you're by foot, you don't have as much radius. If you have a bike or if you have a vehicle, your radius is much wider, depending upon your rideability. So, I mean, these are some of the tips that you could use to be able to, if you ever get into this homeless situation, and you want to be able to be legitimate and make money without doing things that will either get you thrown in jail or get you, compromise your moral code or your moral values. These things right here, there is money to be made, not a lot of it, but if you are okay with being meager and just making sure that you have the right gear, and somebody like me, I spend my money on my gear. Like you see, I got some money from my dad for Christmas, and I took half of that and I bought me a really good sleeping pad, because out here, the gear that you have is the most valuable thing that you can have. And you don't need to make a lot of money to have good gear. You just need to be able to know how to find gear that works for you. And, the gear that I have works for me on one sense, but on the other sense, I like riding my bike. It's just, I don't know how else to explain it. It's just, I don't like riding 50 miles a day and stuff like that. I like to ride around town. So I've got, between all the different funds that I've got coming in with with Patreon and some tips that I've gotten. And plus I can probably hustle up, $10 more somewhere, and I could easily pay for myself a bus ticket up to the next city, and then just use the bike to ride around in, to be able to commute and do the things that I need to do. And I think that is gonna be how I do it, at least until I become a much stronger rider. Because I did run 50 miles a couple of times, but the amount of recovery time after doing 50 miles is quite something. And I'm not properly nourished out here, in the sense that I don't get I get a more variety in food here than I've ever gotten, but most of the time it's just slop. It's not good food. It's mystery stew, or mystery tuna, or something like that. So the food is at least really decent here. That's one thing that I can say. But normally you don't get this decent of food unless you can afford it on your own. And for me, I don't want to get food stamps. So that is something that I'm gonna have to work on. But anyways, guys, that's the end of the video. You know how to help me. Like, subscribe, share, become a Patreon subscriber and get early access plus content that isn't here on YouTube. Plus, if you'd like to, you can make a tip in the tip jar, or you can look at my gear, and I get a commission off of everything that you purchase off of there. And I see that I've gotten a little bit of commission lately. So to whoever did that, I want to say thank you, and I will see you guys in the next video.